Hey sweethearts, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ella Chilaka, the Queen Abuna of the Ashanti Kingdom, Ghana. Alright, quick one. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm gonna play this audio recording that my wonderful subscriber sent to me on WhatsApp. Detailed information he was told by his grandparents, and then the part of it that he also witnessed growing up, of the incident that happened between the two countries, Ghana and Nigeria. Please, please, please do not hesitate to watch this video till the end. It's a long voice note, I assure you, but it's worth your time, trust me. So you're gonna be patient. Please do this for Queen Abuna. I want you to listen to this voice note till the end. All right, and then let me know in the comment section after you have watched it or while you're watching it if there's any information you think that is different from what he had said. We are all here to learn. Let me know in the comment section. And please, please, guys, just because I'm not here shouting and tearing my clothes before the camera doesn't mean I support what Shehu Shagari and the Nigerians did to Ghanaians back in the years. All right, so I was traumatized when I watched the videos, when I learned about the things that happened back then. I'm a mother. All right, I'm only trying. I only tried imagining myself in the shoes of the women, the children, and imagining myself with my children right now going through such things. I'm an empath, so these things get to me so much. So before I get to talk about them, I make sure I heal from the trauma first. So just because I'm not here insulting and cussing out doesn't mean I supported what happened. All right, and then if I said the both countries should apologize to each other, I mean we shouldn't go tearing our boxers in other comment sections of people's channels saying, she said Ghana must apologize. And I don't know. Sometimes you keep pride apart and aside and do the right thing. It doesn't mean you are stupid. It doesn't mean the other person is right. You do the right thing, and for peace, everybody will go along. But if we all keep bragging on dragging our rights and things, the thing keeps going longer. I'm not saying what Nigerians did to Ghanaians it was good. No, that was barbaric. Like I've always said in my videos, that was condemnable. That was not acceptable. So I don't know how else I would speak this English for people to understand that I'm not supporting what Nigerians did. But that's okay. Let's quickly watch this video and please listen to this voice note by my sweet Ghanaian subscriber. Sir, I appreciate your time sending me this voice note. So my viewers, I pray you watch this, listen to the end, and let me know what you think in the comment section.
Hello, my sister. I greet you and your listeners wherever you may be. Well, I'm the one who wrote that long comment under your Nigeria must go, Ghana must go video that you made. And then I was saying time will not permit me, so I will make an audio to you to explain certain things to you. Now, we all know our first president, that is Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He is the one who struggled for independence for us. And the party of Dr. Nkrumah was the CPP. That's the Convention People's Party. That's the party that actually propelled Ghana to independence. And Dr. Nkrumah was a close friend of Nnamdi Azikiwe. I think this man also lived in Ghana, and he was a police officer or something like that under the British administration at the time in Ghana. So they became very close. And Nnamdi Azikiwe also had a party or formed a party or belonged to a party called the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, NCNC. That also struggled for the independence of Nigeria. I think you know the story more than I know. Now, Nkrumah, our first president, Dr. Nkrumah, wanted to unite Africa. So he started campaigning or trying to help other Africans to gain independence, including Nigeria. But the West, that is America, UK, and others, they did not like that Africa should unite. So they started plotting against Nkrumah until finally in 1966, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the Secret Service of America, engineered a coup against Nkrumah, and Nkrumah was overthrown by the military junta by the military in Ghana. So this military formed the National Liberation Council, NLC, and they ruled. So during the reign of these people, these military men, which was led by one general called General Ankara, that was when the Biafra War started. So they called General Gowon and Ojukwu to Aburi for peace talks. I think they did it twice. If you go back to history, you know it. They came to Aburi twice to meet this man, the military general who was then the head of state, General Ankara. And let's note, General Gowon was educated in Ghana at our military academy at Tishi Nungwa. I think General Gowon is still alive. Anybody can ask him where he had his military education. He was educated in Ghana at our military academy. So it could be that General Ankara, was also a mate or a friend to General Gowon. That's why Ghana got involved. That I don't actually know, because I was not born by then. The story I'm telling you about the Nigeria Must Go is a story that was narrated to me by my grandparents and what our teachers also told us. So General Gowon and Ojukwu came to Ghana for peace talks with our military men who were in power at the time, General Ankara and then later Afrifa. But because they were the military government, they organized elections to return the country back to civilian rule. So when they organized the elections, one professor by name Professor Buzia or Dr. Buzia, his party called the Progress Party won the elections. And we should note that the Progress Party is, let's say, was a daughter or a son of the United Party that was in opposition to Nkrumah. That United Party is the present NPP that we have, the National Patriotic Party, the present NPP that we have, whose leader is President Akufo-Addo. This present party came from or sprang out from the United Party. So Dr. Buzia also continued the peace talks between Nigeria, between General Gowon and Ojukwu. And at a certain point, it was alleged that Dr. Buzia wanted to divide Nigeria into two, so that the Igbos will have their land and the northern part, they will also have their land. I don't know how many states are occupied by the Igbos. I think you are a Nigerian, so you know it. But the idea of Dr. Buzia was that Nigeria should be divided into two, so that the Igbos will have their freedom, and then the others will also have their land. But some of the African countries did not agree to Dr. Buzia's plan. In fact, the Igbos were very popular among Ghanaians, the Tanzanians, and Zambia. And I think even Zambia, the Zambia president, Kenneth Kaunda, came out openly to endorse the Igbos, that they should be independent. You can check from history. But now, when this man took over the reins of government in Ghana, Dr. Buzia, he was politically inclined to the West. So he took a lot of loans. They offered a lot of loans to Buzia at the time. And we had a term, Kafudidi. Kafudidi means the debtor has the right to eat. This is very common among Ghanaians. If you ask an elderly Ghanaian or a middle-aged Ghanaian, he will tell you this. We Ghanaians, we know our history. So it was during that time that he came out with the Aliens Compliance Order. It was the pressure from the West, that is the US and UK. They actually put pressure on our head of state, our prime minister, Dr. Buzia, to expel the Nigerians, to enact the Aliens Compliance Order. But another school of thought also says Buzia wanted to document all the immigrants in Ghana, to give them ID cards, to register them so that we will know who is a foreigner and who is a Ghanaian. And when he introduced this Aliens Compliance Order, he told them you either register to stay or you leave the country. Then the opposition in Ghana to Dr. Buzia, they misinterpreted this law, saying that everybody must leave, especially the Nigerians should go. So Nigerians, they packed and they went back to Nigeria, especially the Yorubas. But most of the Igbos, they stayed, or they were told they can also stay, because Ghana is somehow close to the Igbos. I don't know this, but if you ask our elderly people, they will tell you that the Igbos are somehow favored by Ghanaians. I don't know why this is like that. I cannot explain it. In fact, this was very, very bad decision for Nigerians at that time. Some of our parents or our grannies, they were saying that some of the Nigerians, they lost a lot of their businesses. Some even burned some of their shops and a whole lot of things. But Buzia gave them 6 months to leave the country, and they left. So that was Nigeria Must Go. That happened in 1969 in Ghana. I don't know so much into details like I know the Ghana Must Go that happened in Nigeria, because I was not born. They narrated the story to me, and some of my teachers also actually told us in class what actually happened. So that is episode 1. Now fast forward in 1972, General Achampong, he was colonel by then, staged a coup and overthrew Dr. Buzia. in 1972. That was, I think, 12th January or something like that, 1972, when he staged the coup. I was very, very young. I was in my teens. I was a boy. But, sorry, I remember very well because I was growing up by then. When Achampong staged the coup, he introduced the policy Yentuya. Yentuya means we are not going to pay. That means the debts that were contracted by Dr. Buzia. I've already told you that this man, Dr. Buzia, was politically inclined to the West. So when he became the prime minister, he was given a lot of loans by the IMF, the World Bank, and other Western countries, which was to be paid. And Achampong said they will not pay these debts. So he introduced the Yentuya policy. Because of the refusal of the Ghana government or Ghana to pay the debts that has been contracted or that was due to be paid, and this man, Achampong, says he's not going to pay, the Westerners, they started crippling Ghana's economy. They did not come out to put sanctions, but they started crippling Ghana's economy until such time that economically Ghana actually was going down somewhere in 1975. Initially, when Achampong came to the scene, things was very good. The Operation Feed Yourself flourished, and this man also did very well. He was trying to transfer the economy, the Ghana's economy, into the hands of Ghanaians. He did quite a lot for Ghanaians. But these Western countries, they started crippling Ghana's economy gradually, simply because he, Achampong, and the government, that is the National Redemption Council at the time, they said they were not going to pay the debts that Ghana owed the Western countries. Until in 1975, when actually things started going bad for Ghanaians. This is the time when a lot of Ghanaians left the country for not only in Nigeria, but those of them who had visas and money, they traveled outside to the US, to UK, to Germany, to Italy, to Switzerland, and a whole lot of places, including Nigeria. So many teachers went to Nigeria. Teachers, doctors, nurses, artisans, and even shoemakers, those who polish shoes and other things, they went to Nigeria. So Ghana was gradually going down the drain. Things were becoming hard for Ghanaians. And in fact, somewhere in 1977, food was even very, very scarce. I remember they imported yellow corn. They imported yellow corn to Ghana. And there was strikes here and there. The students, they staged demonstrations against the government when even two students were shot dead. You see it. And then the professional bodies of Ghana, the Bar Association, the Bar Association in Ghana, that is the Lawyers Association. And then the Trade Union Congress, the Workers Association that we have in Ghana, we call it the TUC. Everybody was dissatisfied with the government from 1975 onwards. That is, they were dissatisfied with Achampong's government. But for Achampong to hand over power to a civilian rule, he decided to form the union government we call it Unigov. That was somewhere in 1977. Yes, when Achampong came out with the idea of this union government. He wanted to bring the military and the civilians together and form one government. Well, maybe it could have been a good idea for Ghana. I don't know. I was very young at that time. But the politicians did not want that. The lawyers did not want that. They wanted Achampong to leave the scene. And this man, this very man, Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo that we have, he formed a movement with General Afrifa called the Movement for Freedom and Justice to oppose the union government. Every Ghanaian knows this. It's not a secret that I'm telling you. To oppose the government. So things were actually going bad for Ghana during that period, 75, 76, 77, until 78, when one general, the army commander called General Odate Wellington, he staged a palace coup. He removed Achampong and they formed the Supreme Military Council 2. Then General Akufu became the head of state. General Akufu is not a relative of the present Akufo-Addo. They are not relatives. We know the reason why we have this name Akufu and the others, but we shall not go there. So General Akufu became the head of government or the head of state at that time. 77, 78, 79. And here is a story. General Akufu and General Achampong and some of the military men in Ghana, they attended school with Obasanjo. I think Obasanjo was also general. Obasanjo was the head of government, the military government in Nigeria at the time. In Ghana, we have this military command in Ghana, the military academy. Most Nigerians come to Ghana to study in this military academy. So even General Gowon, I don't know if I've already said it, General Gowon is a product of this military academy at the Tishinungwa. Anybody at all can ask General Gowon, because I think he's still alive. They can ask him. He attended school there, the military academy. So most officers from Nigeria, army officers, came there for training. So this school trained many Nigerians. So General Champong, General Akufu, and some of the military men in the government, in the SMC government that we had in Ghana at the time, they were classmates of Obasanjo and some of your military men who were also in government at the time. They attended military college in Sandhurst in the UK. This you can go and check it out. So they were very, 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 very close. They were friends, bedfellows, just like Dr. Nkrumah was to Namzi Azikiwe. So also were General Kufu and Obasanjo so close together. That time, Ghana had no problem, or Nigerians had no problem with Ghana and vice versa. Ghana was buying petroleum, crude oil, and other things from Nigeria. No problem. It was all bed and roses. Now, come 1979, 15th May, this young man called Rawlings staged an abortive coup. When he staged the coup, he was arrested. He was not successful. 15th May 1979. He staged an abortive coup and was arrested. Rawlings was arrested. When Rawlings was arrested, what he said was that his men should be left alone and he is responsible for everything. So this man was put in prison and he was tried. During his trial, he said something that actually captured the imagination of every Ghanaian, especially the students and the youth in Ghana. He said if he had won, he would have killed all the military generals who have caused suffering to Ghana. That is, he would have lined up Akufu, Achampong, Utuka, and we Ghanaians, we know them, those who were the generals who were in government at the time. So when he said that, people actually came out in support of him. We did not demonstrate, but everybody was happy when he said that. So here is the case. When this man staged the coup and he came out with this plan or this statement that he would have killed the other generals who has caused suffering to Ghana or Ghanaians, Obasanjo wrote a letter to Akufu that they should not waste time at all. They should kill him. They should kill Rawlings, because they feared that if they don't kill Rawlings, the junior officers in Nigeria will also rise up against Obasanjo and his government, and they will also kill them. Because the plan was that the plan of Rawlings and those who staged the coup was that if they win, they will kill these soldiers, these military men who has caused so much suffering to Ghanaians. Then they will help the junior officers in Nigeria to also overthrow Obasanjo, line up Obasanjo and those people, and then kill them. Then, after that, they will go over and liberate the whole of Africa. So here you see the unity that Nkrumah wanted for Africa, and he could not do it. He could not bring that into fruition. These junior officers, the military men, they wanted to do it. You see, so Obasanjo, knowing this and being a friend of Akufu at that time, wrote a letter quickly that they shouldn't waste time at all. They should kill this guy Rawlings, who later became our president. So on the 4th of June 1979, that was the day Rawlings was to be killed, executed by firing squad. They did not succeed, and the junior officers, led by Major Boachijan, he was major at that time, or captain, Major Boachijan, they stormed the prison and released Rawlings, and they fought and eventually overthrew the government of Akufu. When Akufu was overthrown, they were arrested, they were put in prison, and they were tried by the People's Courts, and they were executed according to the plan that they had in 15th May 1979. We all know it. We Ghanaians, we all know it. So for Obasanjo to save his people, his friends, he cut off crude oil supply to Ghana in 1979. So we started having fuel crisis in Ghana in 1979 because Obasanjo wanted to save his friends because they were classmates. I've already said it, that they were very, very close. Obasanjo and Akufu, they studied together in Sandhurst Military Academy. He, Achampong, and the others, the other military generals. So Obasanjo cut off fuel supply, crude oil supply to Ghana. I remember it very well because that time I was a teenager and it was all in the news, in the newspapers. Even Rawlings came out in a rally at Tema. I attended that rally. When he came there, I was around. He said Nigeria has actually cut off petrol supply to Ghana, and there's a shipload of tinapa, we call it geisha, from Japan that the Americans and the British, they have diverted it. They don't want it to come to Ghana. They have diverted it. So they killed these soldiers, Akufu, Achampong, Utuka, General Frifa, and then they were all lined up and shot dead. That was the revolution in 1979. That was also the time when Ghana was preparing for civilian rule. The government of Akufu at the time lifted the ban on political activities and many parties were formed. Many political parties were formed and Ghana was on its way to civilian administration. Then Rawlings and his men stormed in. They came on the scene. But unfortunately for them, pressure from Reagan and the British government, I think it was Margaret Thatcher that time, they put pressure on Rawlings to hand over to civilian rule at the time. So they stayed on the political scene for only 3 months. Rawlings, Boachijan, and the AFRC, the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council that they formed, they stayed on the scene for 3 months. They organized the elections and they handed power to one president or one man by name Dr. Hila Liman. Dr. Hila Liman's party was PNP, the People's National Party. This PNP, now we are coming back to Nnamdi Azikiwe and Dr. Nkrumah. This PNP was a party of Dr. Nkrumah. The CPP is a party that sprang out from the Convention People's Party. That is Dr. Nkrumah's party that propelled Ghana to independence. This is the party that won the elections. And they took over power from the AFRC. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, pressure was also mounted on Obasanjo, and he also organized elections, and he handed over power to Shehu Shagari. Shehu Shagari's party was called National Party of Nigeria, which was also an offspring from Nnamdi Azikiwe's party, National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons. I think you know this story. You can go and check for yourself. So here is the case. Dr. Nkrumah's party, the CPP, and Nnamdi Azikiwe's party, they propelled Ghana and Nigeria to independence. Now we have Dr. Nkrumah's party, the People's National Party, and then in Ghana, and we have Shehu Shagari's National Party of Nigeria, which is also the party that came from Nnamdi Azikiwe's party, ruling Ghana and Nigeria. Dr. Liman and Shagari became like brothers. They were like bedfellows. I remember there was a time Shagari was flying over our airspace. He even sent a message to Liman. Liman also went to Nigeria. That was the time Ghanaians were in Nigeria. There were almost about 3 million Ghanaians. So when Liman went to visit Nigeria in his capacity as president of Ghana at the time, he met even the Ghanaians there, and he told them that the situation in Ghana is not as bad as they think. So they should not actually stay in Nigeria, they should come home and that kind of thing. You say it. But well, Nigeria had by then discovered oil, the oil boom is there, and the dollar to the naira, your currency, was almost about 1:1, or even the naira was higher than the dollar. I think you know that more than I know. And so it was actually lucrative to work in Nigeria and then bring the money to Ghana, exchange it, and you get more cedis and that kind of thing. So Ghanaians, the ordinary ones, those who could not afford to go to come to Europe, go to US, Canada, and others, Nigeria, they went there to work. Some of them were working as breachers. They were doing construction work. Some were in the teaching service. Some were in the every job available. Ghanaians were doing it in Nigeria. You see, so they didn't want to come, and they stayed there. Now, 2 years later, Rawlings popped out again. Rawlings came on the political scene. He staged a coup 31st December 1981 and overthrew Liman. Another problem don't come, oh, my sister. So what is going to happen? If we sit down quietly and we analyze Ghana and Nigeria, you realize that whenever something happens in Ghana, that same thing later will manifest itself in Nigeria. Let's sit down quietly and analyze this. Now, when Rawlings stormed the political scene and overthrew Dr. Liman's government, that is the PNP, Shagari thought he will be the next person to go. And then at the time that, let's note this side also well. When Rawlings and his men were fighting to overthrow Liman's party, the American president, Ronald Reagan, was at the White House via satellite watching what was happening in Ghana. And according to sources, what he said was that this naughty boy again, it was written in our newspapers, he called Rawlings a naughty boy. But they were able to succeed and they overthrew Liman. So Shagari knew or thought that he would be the next person to go, because whatever happens in Ghana will actually manifest itself in Nigeria. And here, Reagan didn't want Rawlings because they thought Rawlings is a friend to Gaddafi. The British also didn't want Rawlings because they thought Rawlings is a friend to Gaddafi. So what will they do? They have to approach Shagari to do their dirty work for them. So they asked Shagari government to cut off petroleum supply to Ghana So they stop it. I think that is the only weapon Nigeria uses against against other people. Now the military junta in Niger, when they staged the coup, Tinubu quickly cut off electricity to Niger. So in Ghana, they cut off. In Ghana, they cut off petroleum supply to Ghana, and in fact, we went through difficulties at that time. Ghana was without fuel, and some of them, I was a student by then. I was a teenager by then. I was attending school in Accra, so early in the morning, I woke up around 4 o'clock at Tema. I walked to Tema Community 1, and then I joined Trotro, and I go to school. When I close, we also wait several hours in the line, and I'll come home somewhere around 9 o'clock in the evening. So you can know the difficulties, or you know the difficulties. You can imagine the difficulties that we went through at that time. But notwithstanding this, Rawlings was able to hold on. So what was the next line of action? Those 3 million Ghanaians who were in Ghana, they should be sent back to those 3 million Ghanaians who were in Nigeria should be sent back to Ghana. When they come to Ghana, the situation will be so worse that the government, Ghana, will be ungovernable for Rawlings. This is what the Westerners, America and Britain, this is what they told Shagari to do it secretly. And so Shagari turned to the Ghanaians who were in Nigeria, and they said they should leave. Shagari gave them, I think, 1 week to leave. Meanwhile, Shagari closed the borders. You've asked somebody to leave your house and then you close the door. How can he leave? In fact, this is something that, well, we Ghanaians, we don't hold any grudge against anybody for this. But it was very, very horrible. They turned around and accused Ghana that Rawlings, the government of Shagari turned around and accused Ghana that it is Ghana that has closed the border. It was Nigeria that closed the border. You see, at least open the border, and if Ghana has closed its borders, open the border between Benin and Nigeria, and then let them come to Benin. From Benin, they can come to Togo. But they closed the border. Shagari closed Nigeria's border. Sorry. So the people had to leave. And a lot of our people, a lot of Ghanaians, they died as a result. And then Shagari also gave an order that after the deadline, any Ghanaian or any foreigner that will be seen in Ghana, that will be seen in Nigeria, they can use violence to get them out. I have a close friend of mine in UK who did not leave because one Nigerian told them that they should not go, and that if anybody asks them, they should mention his name. So this Nigerian man kept my friends, they were my friends in Nigeria there. He kept them in their house. But one of them, this my friend in UK now, he once went out to look for unemployment. Because Ghanaians left, in fact, Nigeria was in need of labor. So this my friend went out. He's a Ghanaian, but he did not go because one Nigerian man told them not to go because he will be responsible for them. So he will be responsible for them. But this my friend went out to look for work. And then when he went out to look for work, they asked him why he is still in the country when the government has asked them to leave. this my friend couldn't get any tangible answer to give the people. Somebody came with somebody came with a wooden slab, then hit my friend the back of his head. Immediately blood started oozing from the head. So these people thought my friend would die. They took him and dumped him somewhere. But fortunately for him, some people saw him and then took him to hospital and he was cured. He did not die. Later he went to the house. They collected their bags with the other Ghanaians who were in those houses, and they left Nigeria. So this Ghana, Ghana must go. That happened in Nigeria in 82, 83. Was actually engineered by America and Britain. When Shagari gave the order for Ghanaians to leave, do you know where Shagari went? He was invited by the Queen in UK, and Shagari, instead of staying at home to coordinate his orders so that at least nobody will cause violence or something like that to the Ghanaians, he left for the UK. You can go and check it. It's all there. It was in our newspapers. I read it because that time I was a teenager. I could read. Shagari left for the UK, and so the junior people in his government, they were coordinating these orders. So my sister, this is what I told you. I will try to make an audio for you. We Ghanaians, we don't hold any grudge over this. Some of us have even forgotten about it. When we meet a Nigerian anywhere, we consider them as our friends or our neighbors or our brothers. You see, so I'm hoping, and it's my prayer, that economically Nigeria and Ghana will find their feet so that we will all stay at home, because there's nowhere better than one's home. I don't see the reason why Ghanaians and Nigerians are found everywhere, every corner on this globe that you go. You will see a Ghanaian there. You will see a Nigerian there. Why? You see it. It's because of our leaders. They have become willing tools for the West. Not only Nigeria and Ghana, but it looks like the whole African leaders, they are always looking up to these people for instructions and that kind of thing. You see it. And so, let's pray that one day our leaders will actually think of us as Africans and do the necessary things for their citizens and not for the West. If they continue like this, our children will still be in poverty and Africa will always be the way we are seeing it. So the time has come for us to actually demand good governance from our leaders, eschew this corruption and that kind of thing, and then think about our people. So thank you so much. I think I haven't talked so much, and probably, well, I have actually told you what I know. The Ghana must go, that happened in Nigeria. I was a teenager. I remember when they were coming, some of our people, even the Ashanti Hene, he donated articulators to be sent to the border to pick Ghanaians to come home. So when they were coming, sometimes I'll go to the motorway there and give them water to drink, because just to quench their thirst, some of them were very, very tired. So when that order was given and Ghanaians, they came in their thousands and in their millions, Accra was actually flooded. But here, I'll give credit to Rawlings government. They set up a task force and they nominated one Commodore. He was a military man. His name is Commodore Obimpe. This man did a wonderful job. And if he is still alive, may God actually bless him. This man did a wonderful job. He coordinated the work that was given to him, and within some few months, there was nobody on the streets of Accra. The international press, CNN and others, BBC and what have you, Voice of America and how do you call it? They descended on Ghana like vultures, coming to take photographs and write stories, but when they came, there was nobody on the street of Accra. They were asking people, but where are these refugees? Everybody has gone back to his family. You see. So there are some Ghanaians who are in Europe here who went through the difficulties when they were in Nigeria. Some of them can tell you. I have never been to Nigeria before. I only made a stopover, but my feet has never even touched on Nigeria soil. But I've taken Alitalia, KLM and something like that. We made stopovers in Kano and Lagos. But I have never been to Nigeria before. In Europe here, I have a lot of Nigerian friends. Sometimes we come together, we laugh, we make merry, and we talk over things. I don't have any grudge against any Nigerian, and I don't think Ghanaians also hate Nigerians. What we want is for those of our brothers and sisters from Nigeria living in Ghana, not only Nigerians, but those living in our country, they should actually obey the law and show respect to the people, because nobody would like to live in a lawless country. And so this is my message to you and those who will be willing to listen. So thank you very much, and may God bless you. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much, Uncle, for this amazing, amazing, amazing deal. I truly appreciate it, like I said. And yes, just like you rightly said, it's very important for anyone at all, any normal human being, to obey the rules and the laws of the land that you migrate to or you decide to visit. It's just the right thing to do. So please, the Nigerians in Ghana should respect the laws of the land. It's not every country that is lawless. So if you know the right thing to do in a country, please do it. Not just Ghana. The complaint is all over the world. So it's just appropriate to behave yourself when you visit any country. Obey the rules, obey their laws, or you stay back in your own lawless country. As simple as that. The information has been out there was that Nigerians asked Ghanaians to leave, and then they were stranded at Semiborder because Rawlings had closed the border from between Togo and Ghana, and then Togo also closed their border between Benin Republic and Togo. So they got stranded at the Seme border. All right. Now, that was what I read and I heard that Shehu Shagari said. So I'm hearing it for the first time that he rather closed. He didn't. He closed the border between Benin and Nigeria. So I don't know how you expect people to go and then you lock your gate and told them to go. So were they supposed to jump through the fence or please guys, I don't know, are you aware of this part? Because I'm shocked. I'm very, very shocked. Like, you told people to leave and then you are locking the border. So how would they cross? So let me know, is it the same thing that you were told? Because me, it was not what I heard. If you know a different thing about what happened in these borders when Nigeria had asked Ghana to leave, let me know in the comment section, please. So I understand the pain. I'm hurt myself because we are all Africans. So we need to, please, keep sentiments aside and have an intelligent, matured conversations with each other in the comment section. You see the pattern. That is what the Westerners have always did. That's what they always do. They like it when they cause these commotions and then they strike, they come and carry their cameras, and their journalists will be all over the place and they want to just carry the news and then mix it, spice it up, cook it like Ghana and Nigeria jollof, and then they will post it out there for the world to see, and and they jubilate when these things happen. So I'm really glad. That's really applaudable. Like the man said, that they didn't see any refugees, all over the streets trying to capture and take back to their media stream. So that was really applaudable of the man in question. You see, this is what they do. They did it with Burkina Faso. They will mix the story, tell you, oh, the president is this, is that, and that. The way they will even change the caption, cry, you will think that, oh, you will even go and start beefing someone who is actually trying to help Africa. They don't like it when something good is coming out of Africa. And that is what we need to learn how to stop. We need to learn from President Traore so that we can stop giving these people so much power, to be dealing with us the way they are dealing with us. They are dealing with us, all these conflicts. They are the ones behind it. They are the ones pressing the remote. So we really need to sit up as the African youths that we are. It's our duty to do the things our forefathers and fathers didn't do. It's our right, it's our duty to do it, to protect the future of our children and their future generations as Africans. So guys, you've listened to this audio recording, which is perfectly detailed, and I really, really appreciate Sir. It's also my wish to see that Africans can unite someday so that we can take away this power from the Westerners. God bless you. God bless your family. Thank you, everyone. If you watched to this part of the video, you are my sweetheart. Thank you so much. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to share with me in the comment section what you think about this amazing audio and what you think about what happened and what you think we should do. All right, because I think a lot of people, some people didn't like the fact that I said that both countries should apologize to each other. So please, what do you think is the best thing to do so that peace can reign between us again? Let me know in the comment section. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. I love you.